right. Speed?
Speed.
Well, Gene Hackman, I have been interviewing actors and celebrities and stars for 20 years. It's our first time to meet. And I was thinking about it because I thought, my gosh, as many films as he has made. And then I reflected a little bit more about it, and I thought, well, now, in the last year or so, or maybe it's even more recent than that, I have seen you doing lots of television interviews.
Mm-hmm.
And so I have to ask you, what caused this change of heart?
Well, I suppose because I want films now to work more than I did before. I thought that they kind of would work on their own. And the bottom line is that you have to get behind a film these days and promote it and do whatever you can to make it work. It's a painful process, though. It's a process that needs to be done, and there's only one way to do it, is to do it personally. So I am trying now, this last couple of years, to get behind more of the films that I'm doing.
And do you think it has helped?
I can't tell. I don't know that anybody can tell, really, if doing these kinds of things can make that much of a difference. I think if a film is going to work, it will work on a certain level. You can then maybe boost the sales of the film by whatever you can do, but I don't think that an actor by himself can make a film work if it isn't good.
I think, though, in the case, let's just say Uncommon Valor, I think that I personally feel that it did help because I saw you on lots of network interviews, Gene, and I just think that a lot of people who maybe wouldn't have gone to see the film, thinking, well, maybe they wouldn't like it because of the subject matter, I think they went because you were there and you were so enthusiastic about it and believed in it.
I hope Paramount is watching this. Maybe they'll clap me on the back or something.
Well, let's talk then about this picture, Misunderstood. Given the subject matter of it, and we are dealing with the subject of death in this, and people working through their grief, do you think that you took some chances making this film?
No, I don't think so. I think that there'll always be a place for these kinds of films, that people like drama, that people like to be affected in some way. And this is a film that touches people. And I think that it will touch a lot of people in a variety of ways, that maybe some people won't like it, that they will deny the fact that there can be difficulty in their life between themselves and their parents or themselves and their children. But the bottom line is, I think that all of us have opportunity in our life to do better in our relationships to our parents and our children.
Gene, in your own case, well, let me preface it by saying that in my case, my mother died when I was 16, and boy, this film really touched me. In your case, did it touch you more from the relationship of your father to you or you to your children?
No, almost exclusively with me to my children, in terms of how I worked on it, in terms of the misunderstandings between the parents and the father and the children. I had a special relationship with my father that was not as good as I would have liked, but in the latter years, we tried to resolve a lot of our differences. We never did, actually, but we tried, and that was important to me, to have made that effort before he passed away.
Was it involved because your parents divorced? Was it based somewhat on that?
Yeah, it was my misunderstanding of his relationship to my mother, that I never understood why he left, and I never understood how somebody could have other wants and needs when a child is 13 years old, is when he left. And it took me a long time to understand that, to figure all that out. But I think I finally came to grips with that.
Does this film, working in this film, make a difference now between you and your children?
I don't know. My children, my youngest daughter has seen the film, and she was very affected by it. But I think that she was affected because it was a film, not because I was in it. She liked it as a film, and she recommended it to her girlfriends, and they are going to see a screening of it now this week. And she was very taken with it, and I hope the older children are too.
Gene, what is it like working with Henry Thomas? I mean, I don't want to give away the ending, but the final scene when the two of you were doing that, what was it like for you working with him?
Well, it's quite remarkable because Henry, in the final scene, which was a tough scene for a child, a tough scene for anyone, and he approached it very professionally and was completely concentrated and was very much aware of what was going on and what was needed in the scenes, and so it was quite an interesting experience for me.
Is he like a lot of child actors, though, that when you least expect it, he suddenly reverts to being a 12-year-old boy?
It's true that as concentrated as we were in the film, and as soon as the scene was over, he and the other little boy, Huckleberry Fox, they would be right back to doing whatever they were doing. Usually it was playing Dungeons and Dragons, this very complex game that they are involved in. It's more of a way of life, I think. But yeah, he would surprise us, all of us actually, in that he could be very sophisticated at times, and then as soon as it was over, go off and end it. He was never, I can never recall a time in the filming where he wasn't prepared, though, and he wasn't ready to go to work.
And the performance shows that.
Yes.
Well, Gene, I'm so happy finally to have a chance to talk with you, and I must say that I was just totally blown away by the performances in this movie.
Thank you very much.
And by the subject matter, too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And I love you in Superman. Okay.
Stand by, Bobby, and you ready, Steve?
Well, how about if I lean up or sit up a little more like this, huh? Okay, you want me to? Okay.
Here we go, yeah. There you go.
Gene, what is it that has caused you now to do so many interviews, particularly television interviews? And has it helped? Do you feel that given the subject matter of this film that you took extra chances? Do you feel that this film, you can relate more to it as your father's relationship to you or your relationship to your children? Was it because of your parents' divorce? And how do your children respond to this film? What is it like working with Henry Thomas? In the final scene, would Henry Thomas sometimes just lose his concentration and go back to being a little 12-year-old boy? Okay.